Hi, Panda here, and there were so many great games from the Wholesome Games Direct at E3 that we decided we definitely needed a second part. So we've chosen some more of our favourites to cover, and also always we will be covering more Wholesome games in the future because they're so great. These nice, cute, calm, interesting indie games. And I feel like indie games should get a little bit more press about them, a little bit more news about them so more people are aware of them because they're so great and lots more people need to try them. So here is our choices for the second part of games from the Wholesome Games Direct 2021. Let's check them out. First up, we've got Lake. So Lake is set around a lake. It's a nice like American countryside, like a lake with a forest around, and you play as a male courier, so a delivery person, a bit like UPS or something, and she delivers all these parcels. But the game is all about meeting different people who live around the lake and their stories. So I'm quite intrigued, like where will it go, and like will the stories build up into a bigger story, or is this just like getting to know little stories of people? So it doesn't quite say if there's like a bigger story, but I'm definitely intrigued. And it looks beautiful, and it definitely looks nice and calm, which is what we could all do with a little bit of a change and have something that's very relaxing and calm. And it seems like a nice environment just to drive around and deliver and talk to some different characters. Let's check out our next game. Next up, we've got Tracks of Thought. This is a game where you play as a bug on a train full of other bugs. These are all nice, cartoony, and I love the art style of these insects. And you just go around, you chat to other people, there's dialogue choices, but what's interesting, how you're feeling and emotions and other choices play out in a card game, and you have to resolve issues and problems and dialogue choices through this fun card game. So that's definitely an interesting twist on like an RPG of like chatting to people and progressing through the story, but mixed with like a card battling game. So I'm really interested how they pull that off, and it looks amazing. On to our next game. Next up, we've got Gecko Gods. Now, I love geckos. They look really cool, and I used to have some geckos, so this definitely appealed to me. But what else appeals? It just looks nice, peaceful and sunny. But imagine if you were playing a Tomb Raider game, but without the action combat, but you just like the big tombs and the puzzles and like rolling the ball around onto pressure pads and temple settings, like mysterious dungeon temple settings. Imagine that, but on a nice sunny island, and you played as a gecko. That's Gecko Gods for you. It looks really interesting. I'm glad to see this type of puzzle game, but without having the combat as well, because sometimes you just want to do the puzzles. So I'm interested to explore the world, see what this gecko is up to, and see what else is to the story. Let's check out our next game. Next is Bear and Breakfast. Now, there's been a few trailers for this, and I and the rest of the team were a bit unsure of like what type of game it was, but this latest trailer really sold me on it. So I love the art style. You play as a bear, and he runs like a bed and breakfast in the middle of the countryside. Has like a Stardew Valley type angle on top and sort of gameplay, but with a different art style. Definitely gone for more hand-drawn, digital hand-drawn art style here. And you can customize the rooms as well, so there's a bit of like furniture decorating, like you're getting like The Sims or something. So there's definitely a mixture where he runs a bed and breakfast, but I believe from what I can tell from the trailer, it's definitely something else going on, but they don't really lean into what else is going on. So I'm curious to see what else is to the story. So I'm guessing run the bed and breakfast will be the main thing, but like games like Stardew Valley, there's an overarching and more deeper story going on that you're unaware of at the beginning. So I'm interested to see how this one comes out. So on to our next game. Next up is Rainbow Billy. Now this fits into my category, like Tinykin did last time, of a 3D environment or 3D looking environment with 2D characters. Now this is a bit more isometric looking, or like kind of looking down, but you play as this very like cartoony Billy character, and you explore this different, very colourful world, but a giant monster comes, takes all the colour away, and you're up to you to go around and put colour and help these monsters regain and become the normal happy selves. So it's about a cool game that makes like colour the world in, which reminds you of like the Blob type of gameplay, but also with this like finding these monsters but turning them good, which is a nice change. Instead of like just killing and destroying, it's about turning happiness back into them. That makes sense, yeah, putting happiness back into them. So I feel like this has great potential. I love the art style, and I'm definitely into this whole flat 2D look but on a 3D environment. It seems to be quite popular now. It seems to be picking up slowly. I see more and more games, and it definitely has caught my eye, and I'm definitely intrigued to try this one out. On to our next game. Cloudjumper looks really great. And I mean from the art style. Now the art style reminds me of an indie game called A Short Hike. It's hard to describe it, so you have to really like look and see what I mean, but you're getting me, it's definitely unique. So you play as like what I can describe as a little boat, but in the sky, a sky boat. And you travel around to different islands, you talk to different people. It looks like there's some crafting and there's some puzzle solving. It looks like there's some quite stormy weather and stuff and some dungeons. So I'm intrigued to see what that's like while you're playing this little boat. I'm guessing it's going to lean heavy on solving puzzles more than say combat, but that looks good to me, and I really like the art style, and it definitely has made me want to go and play A Short Hike, because unfortunately I've still not played it yet, and I really like the art style in that as well. So definitely one to keep an eye on. This came as a surprise, and it's nice to see airboats and airships, like Skies of Arcadia type theme, making a comeback. On to our next game. Next up is a game we haven't actually got much to say about, Wudo. You can just tell from the art style, this looks beautiful. It kind of has like a miniature clay plasticine look. I don't know how they pulled it off. It looks so realistic. It doesn't even look like it's a game, it looks like it's a model. And I think you just got a selection of pieces and you got to put them in the right place. It might be simple, but it seems nice and calm, but it's the art style. You just have to see this clip and you'll be like, wow, I need to see more of this game. I just want to see the different environments and locations and see how good they look, because from this small trailer, those sets just look spot on. They look so realistic. It's definitely unusual, and that caught my eye. So this one's definitely to keep an eye on. Next game. Next up is Lego's Build a Day. Now I wasn't expecting to put a Lego game on this list, but this is not like any other Lego game that I've seen. It's definitely not like the Traveller's Tales action games. This is small diorama sets. The graphics look amazing. It looks like actual Lego. So how they pulled it off, I don't know, but it looks amazing. And you simply just got to move pieces to help a 2 Lego piece character. It's not even a normal Lego figurine. They've just made a Lego person out of like 2 individual blocks on top of each other, and you just got to help them get to, I think it's like a lighthouse or some type of location, and it's just making the path for them. So nice and simple, but definitely interesting. And once again, this is another one where the art style and the visual looks amazing. So on to our next game. Next up is Freshly Frosted. Now this is a game I have previously played actually. I've played the demo and it has been shown before. It fits into this genre of games that you might have seen other ones like Factorio and Satisfactory, where you're building like a work path for I want to say like a treadmill. That's probably a correct word for that. But basically just all these donuts are going, and you've got machines doing the different color tops, but you've got to solve the puzzle of like, how do I make this conveyor belt get to say the frosted topping or the jam filling, and you just got to solve that puzzle out, and then once you've got it, you complete it and on to the next one. Small bite-sized puzzles. Get it bite-sized because they're donuts, and no worries. But this looks like a really good small puzzle game to play through. I don't know how many puzzles are going to be. It could take you a long time to finish it, but there's definitely something intriguing, and I really enjoyed the demo. Once you got the hang of it, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to make the path this way and I can get the jam and the frosted. But sometimes you're like, oh, we only want 2 jam and 1 frosted. So there's definitely something to it. Seems nice and chilled. There didn't seem to be any time limit on the demo, so you kind of just had your time to figure out where the treadmill was going to go. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll be covering some more Wholesome games in the future. Let me know what you're looking forward to from the Wholesome Games Direct. And remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye!